In this episode, I sat down with David Chokachi, actor, animal activist, amazing human being that went through a very difficult and tough moment. He told me how animals and nature really pulled him out of that very difficult time. He spoke from the heart. It was raw, emotional, and very vulnerable at times. But I really felt such a closeness to David after this conversation. And it was very inspiring. And I came away with that feeling that even in our toughest moments, hope can shine through. You can find a new direction for your life. Please excuse the odd bump we had with the sound. We were early in our process, and also occasionally the dogs walked into the camera. Anyway, thanks for joining us for Confessions at the Cabana. My name is Zoe Scott, and this is my podcast, Confessions at the Cabana. I was born in England, and I chased my dreams across the ocean, landing in America, and then driving all the way to California to live my rock and roll life. I've journeyed from living in the wild to lighting up the stages all around Los Angeles, and I've got plenty of stories to share. But this podcast isn't about me. It's about creating space for others to share their stories, stories that inspire, stories that bring us together, and stories that heal. So come join us here in Malibu at the Cabana. Okay, hello everybody. We are at the Cabana, and today I am joined by the brilliant, talented actor, David Chokachi, and we're here to talk about his latest, most passionate mission, which is rescuing dogs, and to hear about everything he's doing in his life and art. Welcome to the Cabana.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. This is like my kind of jam.
It's great, right?
Yeah, I've done podcasts in some, strange places, and this is probably the coolest.
Yeah, well, we're just right near the ocean.
Yeah.
You and I actually met in a pool 5 doors down, right?
We did, doing some, our mutual friend Jeff putting us through torture, the breath hold training, which we have to get back into. We haven't done forever, but my God, it's like such a great, the camaraderie and every morning.
I mean, it's fabulous, isn't it? I could barely swim when I got in there, but all you surfers gave me a break. And now I can actually hold my breath with the weights.
You're kicking butt.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That thing is humbling.
Your life really sort of seems to resonate around the ocean, surfing, both in your life and in your, your creative life. There's a lot of Soul Surfer, and also Baywatch. What is it about the ocean that draws you so passionately to it? I don't think there are any accidents in life. So.
No, well, I was fortunate enough to grow up. I grew up in Plymouth, Massachusetts. My dad came from Iraq, which is crazy. It's too long of a story to get into, but basically
You've got time.
He had to leave the country. He had spoken out against Saddam, which back in the day, he's been passed away for like 15 years, but he basically, if you ever speak out against the regime, they'll come. He got arrested. They will come in the middle of the night. You'll never hear them because they'll come in like ninjas. They'll grab your kid or whoever spoke out.
Wow.
And they just call it, they'll disappear you. And they basically take you.
Did that happen to him?
No, this was about, because he had been arrested. And they had no money. He came from dirt. So his dad somehow scraped together money, got him on a ship, and he immigrated through Ellis Island.
Wow.
We went and saw his signature there, which was awesome.
Wow.
He put himself through medical school, working at Boston University, Mass General, then he just wanted to be in the emergency room. He was all about he's all about the person.
He was a people person like you, David.
He was amazing. Anyway, so he bought this piece of property right on the ocean, and my mom happened to grow up on the Cape, and she was a huge sailor. So at age 5, we were in sailboats, we were in sailing lessons, and then racing sailboats. I ran with it. I became sailing instructor. I became the head sailing instructor. I went to the Junior Olympics in windsurf racing.
So really the seeds
Yeah.
of Baywatch, Malibu
Yeah.
were sown really, really early in your...
Yeah.
Do you feel a very strong kind of spiritual connection to the ocean?
I do, especially my mom was always like, if we went to the beach or she took us to the beach when we were kids. She's like, "Where's David?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'd be underwater, just like swimming." Like it was like, I believe the ocean is a living entity.
I get that feeling about you that you have. That's why I wanted to ask you, like it's like a communion. Do you feel protected by the ocean?
I do, and I respect it because I've been in some bad, not bad, but
I wanted to ask you about that.
Surfing a couple times, I've been held down and felt like, wow, and then come up and then like took a breath of foam instead of thinking it was air, but it was just a foam ball, and then like another wave hits you, and you're like, so you kind of go down with water, and you're not in your lungs, but you're not getting a breath.
You seem like a very calm person. Have you got that down on?
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. I like to like push. I've really gotten to a point in my life where I really want to like. I don't sleep much. My wife's like, "What's wrong with you? You're up at 4 a.m." But living out here, like there's so much to do. We have an ice plunge, a sauna, we have weights, a pool. Like if I have to drive my daughter to school, I have a whole routine. I'm done most before anybody wakes up, like from 4 to 6, and then I can drive in traffic and not be like just like this. I'm just like, all right, I got this. I can drive all the way to Studio City and back and be zen.
So you're trying to live like life to the full,
100%.
Squeeze it. Does that come back? To you grow up with this incredible thing happening in your home. Your father's homeland. Did he instill that in you?
Yeah, like people thought, because he was a surgeon and he was successful and we had a house on the water, they're like, "Oh, you grew up with a silver spoon." I'm like, dude, you have no idea. He worked our ass off. The greatest thing he and my mom taught me and my siblings was work ethic. Like every weekend, my buddies would be like, "We're going to the beach. Are you coming?" And my dad would be like, "You're not going anywhere. There's yard work to be done." He
believed in the discipline.
His father was kind of not the greatest.
Has it stood you in great shape for all your achievements?
Yeah, because the work ethic I gained from what he put us through, the torture basically. And we just, we started like at age, as soon as I was tall enough to push a lawnmower, I was mowing lawns. We always had jobs. But that work ethic, it carried through. It's still to this day, like I can outwork almost, you put me up against most people and they can't even hang, like, because I just have a drive. I can like just go.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I had a paper round. I think I had a cleaning job at one stage. I don't remember. But at a pretty young age, I did some modeling. You did modeling, right?
Yeah.
But that was really a nice gig compared to
that was like
the paper rounds and everything, right?
Yeah.
I went off to Rome and did some modeling. What about you? Where were your first modeling gigs?
I started in Massachusetts because I had gone to Bates College, a liberal arts school. I played football and lacrosse, and then I traveled with buddies all through the U.S. after in an RV, which was hilarious for 4 months.
I like it. I did that. I lived in a van.
Did you?
Yeah, outside Jim Morrison's house.
Oh my God, yeah. And we based the whole trip on college football games in national parks. So all the way around the country, down to Mexico, across the South, down to Key West.
Did you get into lots of trouble?
Fair. I don't think anybody got arrested. Fair amount, a couple fights.
And I think naughty. You've never admitted. You could admit to a nice British.
I mean, it was just hilarious stuff. You name it. Where was I going with that story? But I think the work ethic thing. I as soon as I moved to LA. This is a crazy story. So I get here the Saturday before the Northridge earthquake, which happened on Monday.
Oh my gosh.
And so not only that, this is even trippier. And I'm staying at my buddy's. I had no nepotism, no friends.
No one on the inside.
No,
nothing.
No. But I had done enough acting on the East Coast. I had booked some national commercials really quickly, where I was able to set myself up at an agency out here just via like, "Hey, this is, will you represent me?" And they were like, "Yes, modeling, and we have a small theatrical." So I get here, and my buddy had lived on Larrabee Street, right above the Viper Room on Sunset.
Right, the rock and roll, my land.
Yeah, you're right. But the Sunday night before the earthquake, we go to a 10 o'clock screening of Robert Altman's movie, Shortcuts. And I don't know if you remember that movie, but in the story, there's a giant earthquake in the movie.
Crazy.
And I think Robert Downey Jr. is in it. And I like lean over to my buddy and I'm like, dude, imagine if that ever happened. Like, this is 5 hours before it goes off.
Foreshadowing, right? A little bit of psychic. Have you got any psychic abilities,
I don't know,
David?
this is crazy. Like, we're in the movie. Like,
I mean, this is something we deal with out here.
Yeah.
Like where I come from, England.
Yeah.
Wildfires, earthquakes. I become like a marshmallow when these things happen. I'm terrified.
Oh, yeah.
I want to grab the hand of every fireman on this side
I
of.
feel like it's good training, though, for life, for all of us.
Right.
Everything we've been through, it's like, we've been tested. And, I've really learned that you can't count on the government. You can't count on the police, fire to show up to protect you, your family, your house. You've got to develop some skills.
You got to have it together, ready to go.
Because even during the recent fires, if someone, I stayed and I had my family going to town, and because there were so many looters out here, and it was pitch black, they shut off the.
It was absolutely terrifying. I was terrified.
Yeah.
I ended up sleeping in the dog basket with my dog. I
Did
was
you?
that scared.
Yeah. And we'd go out. A few buddies stayed, and like Emilio Estevez, he's hyper resourceful too.
Right.
He could live off his land for a long time. Like,
Wow, that's great.
And,
I mean, really, that's what we should all be doing.
Yeah.
Learning how to do that.
And John Stockwell is
Right.
another one. We'd go patrolling like at night.
What else have you figured out about protecting yourself out here in terms of the fires? And do you have a whole regime? Do you have like pool pumps and stuff?
We do. Our pool holds, I don't know, whatever. It's like something like 40,000 gallons of water, as opposed to a fire truck holds 500.
Wow.
And they have to keep 100 every time when they leave for safety. So they're only going to spray 400 gallons and then bolt. But you have access to 40,000 gallons. You just drop the intake into your pool, you pull it, and you can.
So you would stay and fight?
Yeah, definitely.
Is firefighting something that you feel quite passionate about?
I like being useful and resourceful, and I run towards when things happen. When like car accidents, whatever. I'm like I run towards the situation instead of people
that's
are
wonderful.
run away. Yeah, like I was. This is a crazy story too. I was shooting a movie in. When was it? October. We were up in Topanga Canyon and we wrapped at like 3 a.m. We had literally just wrapped, and this Steadicam guy, his name is Wolfie. He's this stud African American dude. He's like training to be an MMA guy, but he had just been like running like Steadicam on me like 5. Like when you wrap, it's like we're out of here. Boom! Like I'm out of my clothes, and so
you want to get home, right?
And he left right before me. Come around a corner. I like slam on my brakes. I see like a truck flipped on its edge, pinned against the side. And then I see like there's 4 cars. One was Wolfie. Then there's 3 more with guy, woman, man, woman, all very capable. And these people are not moving. They're not helping. My car's barely in park. So I thought someone was on the road already, but it was all his tools. He was a construction worker. And they'd come around the corner, hit the telephone pole, obviously speeding. I think he had been drinking, and then flipped it and then just skidded 50 feet into the embankment. But the car was smoking and it was threatening to roll back on its hood.
Oh, no.
And my buddy Wolfie, the guy, had run up and down, will you please come help me?
Oh, my gosh.
I am running up there. He's got the woman halfway out. We get her out. And then we just try and pull the guy out. The guy's feet were all caught in the seatbelt in the bottom of the well. He sees it's me and he's like, what the fuck? Dude, you're my hero. What are you doing here? You're the actor. And then he's like, do you have a knife? And I'm like, yeah, I always carry a fanny pack. I always have a knife.
That is brilliant.
I always have like a seatbelt cutter, a window punch. There's certain things you should have in your car. Those are some of them.
Did you get him out?
He grabbed my knife. He reached in. We cut the seatbelt off his feet. Wolfie did, and we pull him out. And the firemen go to both of us. They're like, "Thank you for stepping up, because this was a situation that was potentially like, had the car ignited, they would have
They would have died.
If it
Save a
rolled,
life.
He's like,
What is it? What do you think it is with people when they just sit and watch something like that?
I left that scene and I was inspired that it was my buddy who was there. Like I was like, that's awesome. There are people who are willing to run towards stuff. And then I was also disgusted at the same time. And when we were done and the firefighters like thanked us, like because they just said people will just do what they're doing. But
yeah, we've gone wrong. We've gone wrong somewhere, haven't we? I know you've been on all these incredible like missions to help, Wings of Rescue, which didn't that start with the fires?
It did. So I've been an ambassador for Best Friends Animal Society since like 2000. Because when you're an actor, you have a platform. Basically, you have an audience. I'm not some huge movie star, but I do have.
You are.
I'm still working. This has been the best year of my career, like right now.
That's wonderful.
Which is weird.
That's great
I think it's all because of like I'm giving back. Like I'm more committed to like Wings of Rescue than I am acting. Like it's just, and then the universe is just dropping gifts on me, like for work.
That's the way it works.
And nobody's working. It's crazy. Yeah.
What have you been working on this year?
All independent films. There's one that we did in September called Married Alive. It was the most dynamic character I got to play. It required the most amount of emotional range you could.
That's wonderful because you seem like a very emotionally dynamic person.
Yeah.
Do you feel that like the next chapter you'll get more and more parts coming in that allow you to I mean, obviously you're still very handsome, but you were drop dead gorgeous, and that can at times be.
Yeah. No, it used to be a hindrance. Like even Taylor Sheridan was my acting coach before he became Taylor Sheridan. And he was about to go do Sicario right before he blew up. I'm like, dude, come on, get me on like one of your things on yelling. He's like, dude, you're too good looking. I can't put you anywhere. I'm like,
Can you believe that?
And then but I'm like, look at all these. There's ways to around that, bro. Like I can grow a beard. But no, I think this movie, the performance I laid down is gonna move the needle. I think the movie itself is gonna be like
you feel really good about it. Yeah.
It's such a beautiful story about a father and son and what someone would go to, the lengths you go to save your son. I think what really like led up to all this though is like so in August of 21 I tore my Achilles on the East Coast on a movie. I didn't want to have surgery there. And I had like 1 day left for them. And then I had a flight, and I was like, I had done my left one, like when I was shooting Baywatch. And luckily I got an amazing trauma surgeon in March. By June, I was jogging. It was never an issue. This one, I was like, who am I going to, like, I don't have the time to find a doctor. And you have like a 14-day window to get it done. Otherwise, everything becomes way more complicated to repair. So I'm literally in the emergency room at like 2 a.m. in Connecticut, thinking like, who can I call? Whose surgical schedule can I get on? And there was a doctor who had done my wife's ACL, and my buddy's partial, but he's a shoulder expert. He ended up doing it, but it's 12 to 15 months recovery, depending on like how your age and also who you get as a surgeon. But about after 13 months of brutal PT, isolation, sitting on the couch, can't surf, can't work as an actor. You feel just like I survived that only to discover like my foot was loose. Like my foot was like dangly a little bit. So I'm like, I went and saw 3 specialists. 2 of them, the first guy UCLA goes, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back in there. They call it like a revisionist surgery or procedure. He's like, I don't want to. It's complicated going back into someone else's work. I think you should try sticking with PT. I was like, okay. The second surgeon I never met before, but he was looking at my body. He knew what I like to do in life. He's like, David, you go through a second repair. You're resetting the clock at 12 to 15 months again. He goes, these are his words. He goes, you're going to lose your fucking mind. And then the third doctor in Pasadena was like, awesome dude, positive but realistic, surfer, family guy. He's like, unfortunately, it's too long. If you ever want to push off on the ball of your foot again, I have to go in there and cut a chunk out. And he ended up going back. I was opted for that, cutting in over an inch and like an eighth out. It was like so off. I had to start over. I'm back on the couch, no weight at all for 6 weeks. The second time through, I just went into like a darkness and like I was like really depressed, and my body been used to like, sunlight and work and people and doing things. And then you're stripped away, all that's yanked away.
What did you find in there, in the darkness? What parts of yourself did you find?
I thought, honestly, like I thought my life was over. I'd lost like my personality. I'd lost my like zest for life. I was zero fun. I was flat as could be. Like I was zero interesting. I was like, I felt like I was slipping into an abyss, and I was like, honestly, just terrified. Like, how will I ever get back to the person I know I was before?
And what came? What arrived?
Even they put me on like medication, classic Western medicine. That's not working. Take more. That's not working. Try this one. Then what happened is we got a cold plunge, and we're still in LA at the time, but I started cold plunging religiously, like 3 times a day, 10 minutes at 41 degrees. And I felt like a spark inside my body. And then we moved into that house where we're living in Malibu. For the first time, we were in like a single family home with a big backyard, light exposure. I think it was the combination. I was like, I'm so done with this. The psychiatrist, his medication, like I got
dear
off
God,
everything.
Terrible.
And then I just started studying or listening to like Andrew Huberman and all these people who are like dialed into biohacks to like pull you out of something. I've always been kind of obsessed with Navy SEAL or special operator culture, and so many of them come back and have major problems.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of them, like especially now, they're talking about it or how they get out of it. And one guy calls it like micro win. You stack micro wins. Like so, a micro win for me, like now, like the first one is the biggest one is like getting up at 4 a.m. Like if I get up at 4, it doesn't matter what happens. I feel like nobody else is up at this hour.
You feel so alive, right? I love the early morning.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gaining on everybody, and subconsciously that does something over time. And there's other ones.
So you were breaking the pattern of depression and trying to
just
break it.
Yeah, just like nutrition, breath work. What you can watch, sunrise for like 5 minutes. You can like stare at the sun before it actually hurts your eye, like when it's really good for your brain.
So you were basically becoming your own healer and going and looking for all these alternative routes.
Yeah, and I did them all. And like last summer, I probably saw down here at Little Doom, I take my dog, I probably saw 50 sunrises. And then all of a sudden I found myself like just like my whole being coming back, like almost.
You connected to something bigger, right? Which was the force of nature.
Yeah, like using nature as a complete holistic healing tool.
Fantastic.
Nutrition, all these things, and I stack them together every day. And now I swear I feel like I have a mini superpower. It's like,
you feel so alive. Like when you tell that story of, depression and feeling, I can't even imagine you going through something like that.
I've never been like a depressed kind of person. People
you don't
have
come
a tendency for like that. I've always been like the guy who's like, I'm dancing on the table with my daughter, or like being crazy, I'm dancing with my dogs, whatever, like kind of nut, like let's go, always. But like this, the 2 cycles of trying to heal with
it's like the perfect storm, right?
It was like, because you're just isolated.
I think that story that you're telling about how you came back is so inspiring.
And
to so many people.
I think the trap is, go jump on medication. Take this, take that. That was like, all it did was make me a zombie. Like it made me worse.
I have only had one kind of serious hospitalization, I think, in my life. And it was because I was put on medication that I had a boomerang reaction to, allergic reaction. Yeah. And it made me totally crazy, freaked out my system. You've got to be really careful with meds, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big nature girl as well. That's my thing.
Yeah, I know you.
The ocean, doing my ocean blessing ceremonies.
I always, even before I knew you, I'd see you down there. You were releasing like the
flowers. Really, you saw me?
Always, so many times. Yeah,
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I really believe that Mama Ocean, she's such a powerful force. And when I put my dreams on Mama Ocean, I see how they, I feel like all the goodness came to me in Malibu.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah. And so like surfing even for me is like, you have to be so present. So in a way, it's like the most mindful exercise or sport you can be doing because you're just, you're hyper present. And I truly believe there's something powerful, like beyond words, that our understanding. Because anybody who surfs, like they'll have the same kind of feeling of like, it feels like you're high, like you're euphoric for hours. Like,
wow,
there's some sort of osmosis through the like ionization and the molecules, and
just taking all the negative out, right? That's why I go and give my flowers at the edge of the ocean. Yeah. What are the biggest lessons you've learned from surfing about yourself and other human beings, maybe?
First of all, like respect of the ocean in general. Like I'd love to go out when it's giant, as big as possible, but I've always been very I never went out there with any kind of ego, like, or I'm not going to go surf like Mavericks or anything like that. But I like to go out when it's like, I love to test myself.
What's Mavericks? I don't even know.
Like that giant cold water wave up near San Francisco.
Right. Like a big wave surfing.
Yeah, big wave surfing.
Yeah. Terrifying, right?
Super. Very terrifying. Because it's life or death. If you cannot go out there unless you have experience, and you got to build up. And
are you a risk taker though? Do you like that edge? I notice men seem to like that edge a bit more of.
I love it. I love it. I love like dropping in on a wave and the first feeling of like, I hope I make this. I mean, you don't want to blow it because it's such a good wave, but also it's that feeling of like, that's steep. That's a big drop,
What is that in men? Is it like a hunter thing?
I don't know, but I love it. It's like, oh my God, it's like going into the night, into the darkness or something.
It's the void, right?
Yeah,
Anything could happen.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
What do you think that void is in that void for you? Is it God, great mystery? I trained with some medicine women who were Cherokee, so they say create a great mystery. What's in that void for you? What do you connect with?
I do believe, and it's so weird, because when I was in the middle of that worst period of my life, and I would have these Zoom calls with this spiritual therapist who's amazing. He's written like some awesome books, and he would be telling me things, but like it was just going in one ear out the other. I was like, none of it resonated. But one thing he did say over and over is like, the most amount of spiritual growth will come from the most amount of pain you'll experience, and over a long period of time. And I'm like, that does nothing, dude. Nothing was working. And then when I came out the other side, I had this growth. It was like, oh my God, what he was saying was 1,000% true. It's like it's kind of a Buddhist philosophy. My work as an actor, like I went on and did that movie Married Alive that's going to come out, and that was the one that was very emotionally demanding, where the guy's suffering from PTSD. The range I had to have in this movie, and I believe
I can see it actually within you. I can see this expansion.
Yeah, and it's basically, I think, that going through the suffering of 3 years of hell and coming out the other side, but coming out on my own using holistic methods. And feeling like I had this almost like a mini, I feel like I have a mini superpower. It's hilarious.
That is like so
but it
wonderful.
Helps my ability,
as an actor, right?
Incredibly.
I'm really excited for you hearing about it. I can really feel like it's a big creative opening, and it sounds really like.
And I think it's a movie I love watching movies, and I feel like there's nothing inspires me, and actually this movie, I think people in general are really going to be. There's no forced moments. It's like a love story. It's like lost love. It's tragedy. It's how far you would go to save your son or your child. There's so many things in it. It was so organically written, and the cast, just everybody delivered. The crew was amazing.
Sounds like such a nourishing experience, and maybe before this you wouldn't have been ready.
No,
in a way.
And the funny thing is, before the injury, we had shot 2 days with this other actor who was going to play the guy. We were trying to shoot this Jeep flipping and get it out of the way, and just have that in the can, and then come back and start the movie. But the director got sick, all this stuff happened, but. I was not in any place to do the movie. If I had done it then, I would have sucked. I was just in no place. I had nothing to offer at that time. The universe just was like, here you go. Here's the timing. Here's everything. Here's the crew. Here's the right cast. And boom. And so I'm really excited about that one.
It's wonderful to hear you talk about your passion, because you obviously still have such a passion for acting.
Yeah.
And that's just I really feel like from hearing you talk about this, there's this just whole massive new journey
Yeah.
opening.
Yeah, I do. I do too. It's weird. It's like I feel like
Rebirth,
yeah,
right?
yeah. What I went through was like, I mean, I used to think this is the worst thing that's ever happened. Now I look at it as like the best, even though my foot is still messed up, and that all used to like weigh me down and cripple me like mentally. But now I'm like, I don't even care.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, hearing your whole story, it's so, how you were in this dark space and now you're in this,
Yeah.
this rebirth space.
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's very inspirational to a lot of people because it does sound like it was a really dark space.
At the time, I wish I had known like what, or someone said, "Hey, man, let's try going to the beach. Let's try watching sunrise. Let's try going to the gym even though you don't want to. Let's do these things. Just try them for a week. Try breath work." And I feel like if someone had told me that and I tried it, I would have been like, because I'm living proof that all that stuff works.
Yeah, you really want to share that.
Yeah.
In case there's someone out there who is really in the darkness of the dark.
Yeah. Those.
I mean, you're inspiring me.
Awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I think I'm doing the cold plunging. I'm doing the weight training but just in terms of really looking at the sunlight, that's what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
First thing.
Like sunrise,
very
sunset.
Inspiring.
There's like, Huberman talks about it. It totally affects your circadian rhythm. It affects your brain in a positive way because there's like a small window before it, as soon as it clears the horizon, you can watch it for like 3-4 minutes. You'll know it's pretty obvious. You're like, okay, that's, and then you just don't stare at it, but you can stare at it when it's right on the edge. You can heal in nature, like it's incredible. It's just like Western medicine and everything they're trying to do to us is the exact opposite. It's like poison us with the food they're telling us to eat and take medication.
What is your nutritional? What kind of things do you eat?
Just I eat no sugar.
Protein, vegetables.
Yeah, we have like we'll have salmon or some burgers, like if it's summertime or whatever. But either like chicken or steak bowls. Like so, it's salad. I have this rice recipe. You actually bake the rice first. My mom does. It's so good. The rest is like salad, it's like vegetables and some feta cheese, and then it's like just one bowl, and like that's all I'll have for dinner.
It sounds great. I need to change up I'm a bit of an emotional eater, and after the fires, it was so shocking.
Yeah.
And everything that. Let's talk about the other really big passion.
Yeah,
wings. In your life. Yeah, Wings of Rescue. We got a doggy on the ground here.
I brought you a sweatshirt.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I don't know if you're a sweatshirt person.
I will love that. I wear that while I'm watching the sunlight. Oh my gosh. I can see you shooting a documentary about this.
I was actually trying. Like these people are amazing. They fly out of private airports because they need the vans that have the dogs in them that are the crates. They need to drive onto the tarmac and load like right there. It was either Burbank or Van Nuys.
Have you always had a passion for dogs?
Yeah. Ever since when my parents they had German Shepherds. That was their thing. And my mom's still alive. She has a German Shepherd. In all honesty, like I'd rather be around dogs than most human beings.
What is it you find? I can tell you what I find. I just love them. I think they're like earth angels.
Just their intuition alone. It's crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's perfect because I spoke to a dog psychic and she said my dog would bring the guests.
Yeah.
And here you are. You love dogs.
Fred.
Yeah. She said even when he doesn't meet them, he will bring them here.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're on a third rescue or adoption, whatever you call it. And they're just like when you rescue or adopt a dog who's had a previous life either in a shelter or on the streets, like there's something they know you've saved them from hell.
Yeah.
Our first one was
John always says that about Fred, that he knows I'm his savior. He follows me night and day. It's the sweetest thing.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's how our dog is now. Like he will not sit alone. He'll follow you and then wants to be near you.
They know it in their hearts.
Yeah. And all three of the dogs we've had, there is like a connect. Like they will, even our first, she was a pit mix. She knew they had found her in downtown LA with a chain broken around her neck, and she was initially scared of little kids. Like when they came in our house, she'd run in the corner and pee, and so she must have been abused by little kids. But she got over that, and she would she was so devoted to like the family and like the sweetest. And when you rescue or adopt a dog, like a dog that's been in a shelter or come from any kind of abuse or whatever, they heal so quickly with proper love and care and attention. It's amazing. They're more like 1,000 times more resilient than humans. Like they will bounce back. So I got to meet these people, Wings of Rescue, during the fires, and Wings of Rescue is based only on donations. Like they have to charter the plane and then pay for the fuel. And some of the flights will be, depending on the distance, it's, like 45,000 per flight for the fuel in the plane.
Wow. And you get how many dogs out for that 45,000?
So a lot of the times, it depends. Like a $45,000 flight was usually going from maybe would go from Dallas to Maryland to New Hampshire and then end in Maine. So you 140 dogs, and you're jamming like as many. So it fits 3 large dog crates side by side, and then 3 on top, and then but it's like Tetris. You gotta like get them in there, because if you leave one dog on that tarmac, that dog's probably not gonna make it. It's going back to the shelter.
It's heartbreaking, right?
So Wings of Rescue is the only organization that flies into natural disasters when they're happening.
Wow.
And they will set up camp,
chills, yeah.
And they'll just keep flying.
What did you see? What was it? I read a line from People magazine that you said it was both the most rewarding and the most heartbreaking.
Yeah.
What was the most heartbreaking?
Some of this, the dogs that are being euthanized, in Texas and California and Florida are the worst.
Really?
Texas is definitely number one. I mean,
just putting them down because they don't have a home.
Because the shelters are overcrowded. It's not, I used to think it was the shelter's fault, but it's not. It's people. It's people
turning their dogs over to shelters,
surrendering for the most lame reasons, like, I'm moving, but they're not moving. They don't want to be responsible. Or everybody got a dog during COVID, and guess what? COVID's over. I don't want the dog. Shelter it goes.
You can't believe people can be so cruel.
No. And then it goes on and on. The animal abuse is off the charts. Spay and neuter needs to be, is the big problem. And then just people being
And they're such earth angels. They're such, like, having been connected to this beautiful baby here for so many years, they are so sensitive. Imagine the sense of betrayal they have when their owners turn them over and then they're left in a cage to not know whether they're going to die. Honestly, it brings tears to my eyes. I think it's so appalling.
That's why I'm like, it's volunteer work, and it's for me. I mean, anyway, like one of the first flights I did, we were in New Hampshire refueling, and the pilot comes out and is like, the plane has like, so there's two pilots, then there's this tiny jump seat for the one person from Wings of Rescue, and then there's like kind of another little jump seat, and then there's like a little tiny area like this big of ground where you can either lay on once you're in the air and stretch, and then the dogs are right there in their crates. So the first time I started loading, I just, because of my work ethic, and I saw it was a hot day and the dogs were stressed, I was like, and the guy was just like, afterwards he had told the people from Best Friends, he was like, who was that guy? Because like, I've never had someone work that hard inside the plane and efficiently and kind of anticipate things and know how to set cargo netting, and they're like that's the dude from Baywatch. He's like, what? He's like, that's the hardest working volunteer I've ever had in the however 13 years I've been doing this.
That's wonderful.
And so after like 7 more flights of just loading, they called and said, would you be willing to actually be part of the flight crew and a dog handler on the flights? And that's what I do in my free time. And this one flight, we landed in New Hampshire. The dog, he was an 80-pound Pyrenees mix. His name is Coda, and he was going to be set to be euthanized within 3 days in Dallas just because he was 80 pounds, and he was 2 years old. So he and his brother were on that flight, and he chewed through his crate. And the pilot comes in to get me, while we're refueling. He's like, "David, will you come deal with this? I don't want to deal with this dog."
He's big.
He's like, not sure. And I'm like, yeah, I got this, dude. So I go in the back of the plane, and he's in the middle of the whole stack, and there's a gap is like this big. But he's like smiling. He's like, I got out. And I'm like, how am I going to get you out of there, dude? We can't fly with you like that. So, but he wiggled like all his way right to me. He let me pick him up. I carry him down like a 6-foot step ladder. I carry him around, and then I sat with him in the front of the plane on the floor of the cargo, like all the way to Maine. And he calmed down, like his stress level calmed down. He fell asleep. And then like the woman I was flying with, then I fell asleep, like just having his, and this is like one of the sweetest dogs.
They're just so soulful, aren't they? They're so,
and this one was,
their hearts are so, the way they connect to us.
Yeah. He was so happy. All he wanted to do was be with a human.
Did you want to take him home when you bond with them?
I was worried about, because I followed his progression to see what happened. I was worried that he would end up in a similar situation in a shelter where he's potentially going to be euthanized at the end. But like in the all up and down the eastern seaboard, in Pacific Northwest, and then Utah, Montana, Idaho, there's space for in the shelters. There's people who want to adopt dogs. They want to adopt and there's not enough dogs. Like
so it's really about moving their location.
You just got to get them there. Yeah. And so he was fine. He got adopted by a woman for a day. Then she was like, I can't do this. She returned him. I'm like, what do you mean she got returned? So I
and then do it. Didn't you think about that before?
Another family, same thing happened. He got returned, and so I was like, I'm gonna just adopt him. And my wife I didn't even tell her. I was like, all right, Wings of Rescue is going to help me fly him back on one of their flights because they go up to Augusta.
What is that about men? They don't tell their partner.
There's no way I'm letting this dog, because like the connection we had and the soul this dog had was like nothing I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Yeah. They come in like teachers, don't they, to teach us things.
Yeah, and that's why they heal. I mean, so many veterans come back and they get a dog. They go from suicidal to their best life ever because they have a dog, and the dog gives you so much. It gives you responsibility. It's a companion. But they're like empaths too. Like they absorb your, like you were saying, your
pain, or yes.
Yeah,
I mean, my dog has just totally changed my life. He's loved me so much. I always call him my husband. He's the husband I always wanted because he always adores me. He always follows me around. You know, my guy's inclined to go off and work and do whatever he wants, but he's here. Like, what do you need?
Yeah, and I saw this fascinating thing somewhere, and it's like there's no other animal that is been. It's not that they've been bred or trained. They've been inherently evolved into serving mankind. Dogs have. It's like the weirdest thing. Like there's no other animal.
Their devotion is very deep.
Yeah, and it's when you think about that, like even horses, they have to be trained to be just ridden. They're not psyched that there's a human on their back, you know. But dogs inherently are looking to help humans, so it's like they are a gift.
A total gift.
So yeah, the Wings of Rescue is like they're so devoted. They'll coordinate. It's a massive logistical thing because to fly dogs across state lines, their health, all this health, everything has to be vetted. If they're not flying into natural disasters, they're constantly working with shelters where dogs are potentially going to be euthanized, and they'll be flying them to any place that basically has room. So it's just like this ongoing kind of.
What a wonderful work. They're saving lives.
And they even say for every one dog they fly, they're saving two, because you're definitely saving the life of the dog you're flying. And then you're taking the pressure off of the shelter. So maybe they don't have to euthanize a dog that day because of overcrowding. So it's an amazing, like, just.
And also you might potentially be saving the life of a human, because they do come into our lives for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
And they give us so much love.
Our second dog, she, when I'd go surfing, she'd sit on the steps, and 12 guys would come out of the water, all wearing black wetsuits at the same spot, like where I went in, and she wouldn't move. And she's 50 yards away, and then she would know it's me from like, after seeing all these guys, doesn't move over a course of an hour. Then I finally get out of the water, and she comes bolting down. Like there's something. If you're a dog person and you're tuned into like what their frequency or what they offer, it's mind blowing.
It is absolutely mind blowing. He brings all the best people into my life as well.
And I feel like dogs in general, they're connected, and they want to like. For some reason, they feel like they're they're going to protect us, and that's their mission.
It seems like we all need much more education around these beautiful animals.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be the one to make an incredible documentary or something to explain. I can see it on Netflix now, with all your beautiful wings of rescue work, but also, the nature of these divine creatures and everything they have to offer us, So tell me about Puerto Rico. What's it like when you get there to save the dogs?
So Wings of Rescue goes all over. They go down to the Caribbean a lot, Bahamas. So Puerto Rico currently has a huge stray dog and cat population. So there's 700,000 stray dogs, and roughly 800,000 stray cats. The dogs are being thrown poison from people. The people will see the stray dogs in the park. They'll stick poison in the food, some sort of food. They'll throw it at the dogs.
Wow.
And
tragic.
So people who live in Puerto Rico, they got footage of it. These dogs just basically dying of poison on their phones. And the news ran it, and then Telemundo ran it. And I saw the footage, and the guy from Wings of Rescue said, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this trip? We're going to go down there. We're going to fly down." She needed a bunch of, her name is, Chrissy Beckles. So she first went down there. Her husband's a famous stuntman, Bobby Beckles, and he was down there doing a movie with Benicio del Toro 10 years or more ago, and she saw the situation. She was like, I cannot walk away from what's happening here. And the problem's gotten so bad. And then recently, with people poisoning the dogs, which is one of the most horrific things I've watched. And Wings of Rescue, the president, Rick, was like, hey, do you want to be on this flight? We're gonna bring her down a bunch of equipment. So each country down there has their own kind of street name for their stray dog, and that's what a stray dog in Puerto Rico is called, a Sato. So she's got this thing called the Sato Project, where she will kind of watch the strays for a long time, and they'll pick and capture ones that they think can be kind of basically rehabilitated, domesticated, and adopted out. And it's unbelievable. So there's certain dogs, they can tell really quickly. They're wild. You're not going to change that dog. So for them, she's starting a program where they trap, spay, neuter, and then release, because that's the major problem. That's what has to happen in order to cut this down. But in the meantime, she's taking in all these strays. After it's not some willy-nilly thing. She's got a real deal organization where she brings them in, and then for months they treat them because they have all kinds of disease and worms, and they have to be trained, and then they have to be domesticated in a sense with trainers, and make sure they can be adopted out without any kind of risk.
It's a big, long journey.
Huge commitment. Yeah. And we flew out 110 dogs, and 90% of them, so 100 dogs were pre-adopted before. So when we landed, 100 of those the families were there waiting to get them. And
that must be, my heart is
and Bloomberg is a huge supporter of her project. So he let us pull into his hangar, and we show up. And usually when you land, it's we've landed in Maine, and it's blowing snow, and nobody's around, for the rescue vans out there, to pick up the dogs yet. We're like, all right, where are the people? We got to get these dogs off the plane. But this was we land, and I have footage, and we open the doors. There's 60 people in red T-shirts with the Sato Project on it, volunteers, and then there's the families all waiting. They're waiting for their dogs to come off the plane that are going home with them that day, right away, which was super powerful. But she was, she's just up against a crazy tidal wave of neglect, and one thing that's actually a proposal that's on the table with the government of Puerto Rico is to hand out hunting licenses to people and to mass slaughter all the animals. 700,000 dogs, 800,000 cats, kill them, shoot them, get rid of them. That's what's on the table at this moment. And it's not even a news story in the United States. So when I got back...
How can that, what is the relationship between the Puerto Rican people?
It's not the people down there, and these animals are not nuisance dogs. We had a hard time. She's reduced this beach from there used to be thousands of strays. Now, like when we went back to the beach, she's like, this is where we've done most of our work recently. And it took us a while to find. We had to like get out and kind of hike around in the mangroves. So they're not a nuisance animal like that has to be extinguished. It's they're in the wild and you barely see them. So she's got some people who will like bring water and food like to this group. And so we went down, and when we first walked through this chain link gate, probably there's like 25 of them came running out, and they all checked us out really quickly, and they just went boom back into the bushes. But I got to handle a bunch of these dogs, like the dogs that she has taken into her program and that were already adopted, and we were going to fly out. And I'm telling you, like, they are like the happiest. Like there's probably an older pit. He had to have been 2 or 3 pit mix, big. He's in his crate. He is so excited. His tail feels like it's going to break the crate.
Wow.
And I'm like tapping on it because she was videotaping us, and he would just be like, wow, he's like just
so
smiling.
Much joy, right?
And then these like all these other younger dogs were just so happy. I think they knew they were escaping hell, and there was something, and they've been through her program where she was giving them lots of love and care, and that's all they need.
Wow.
So what she's doing amazing
That's
work.
the rewarding bit, right?
Yeah. And but I written this whole story, and I had all this footage to support basically what's happening down there, and then pitched it to various people who had the power to put it in kind of higher publications in the up here in the U.S. mainland. And the only people that picked it up was People Magazine, and I don't think they even referenced the actual what's
that
being
must have been
proposed.
Disappointing.
It's crazy because Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States,
yes.
and if people knew that there's a proposal to slaughter 1.5 million animals, like I think they would go berserk. Like there would be a rebellion. But it's not newsworthy. Like, why is that not newsworthy? It's crazy.
We got our priorities in the wrong place, haven't we? So what is the website of Wings of Rescue?
It is wingsofrescue.org, and Wings of Rescue, they're just like a small operation. They don't have the ability to kind of market themselves for what they're really doing. And ever since I started flying with them and flying the dogs and also seeing the shelters in Texas, seeing which dogs are going to be euthanized, and you're having your heart broken, but flying them to safety, it's like,
any way I can help.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful what you guys are doing.
It's amazing. And, so it's all donation based. And so they have to charter their planes, and they have to pay for the fuel, which is, it's expensive, but the more money they have, the more, it's straight up, they can save more lives.
Save more lives.
People are donating to.
Yeah, we got to do something out of here in Malibu.
I know, that's a great idea.
Raise some money and raise some awareness.
Yeah. And another, I think, a thing that people overlook, and I kind of learned after spending a lot of times with these shelters, is fostering dogs. Like, because people so if you foster a dog and you bring it into your home for even a week or 5 days, you're going to see that dog kind of go from like the timid dog to it's going to feel love, and it's going to show its true colors. And then you can actually, as a foster, take videos and pictures and be like this. And then if you say you have to return it back to the shelter, fine. But you can also give them, here's footage, the proof of this dog that with a little bit of love and care will be this kind of a dog. Because if you go down to their shelter and you see because a lot of times I'll be the guy who's helping you go pull them out of their kennels or their concrete crates or things. Then you put them in a crate, then we transport them, and you see them. They're just like, they're backed up against the wall. They don't know what's coming. They're scared. And anyone would be like, you don't know if like, is this the end, but actually we're saving them. But so fostering is a huge way to help.
And you can do that at any shelter?
Any shelter.
You can go and say, I will foster for like a month or whatever, and maybe try and help that dog get a home as well.
Yeah. Or you can go down to your local shelter. People are always asking, like, what can we do? Go, like, wherever you live, I guarantee there's a shelter, and you can go down and walk the dogs.
Walk the dogs. Wow.
Yeah. I've seen even there's these 2 young guys on Instagram, and they go to shelters. I don't know what state they're in, but they'll just roll up to the shelter and they'll be like, hey, can we take some of the dogs for a run? And they'll take like one dog at a time, and they'll run them like 2 miles and then spend the day with them. and they'll do it again. And it's amazing.
Changes that dog's life on that day.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're just doing this like selflessly, like showing up. And so, Wings of Rescue is like hands down, like it's, and for me, I get to spend like a day with 140 dogs like I've never met. It's amazing. It's hard work. I love it. It's zero sleep. I don't mind. And I fly home like on the LA, like to back to LA every time. And I'm like, I mean, my body's like crushed, fully crushed. And I'm like, but I just like, I don't even like want to hear people around me. I don't want to see them. I'm kind of in like this space of, it's just,
deep love. It sounds like deep.
Yeah,
deep
we just
love.
got to do more,
It probably you say why.
Yeah, it's like when you see it. But yeah, what I was also saying when
it's okay, we're here to have a good cry. I mean, it is something that's actually one could cry very deeply about, the fact that we've created a world that can be so cruel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are we going wrong? We're going wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like, with dogs. I mean, humans to an extent have a chance. They can defend themselves to an extent, or they're aware. Dogs that are, the animal abuse stuff is mind blowing. And then the fact that people are just so careless about their lives, with surrendering them. What I want to call into this world is like for people just to be like, to be more like dialed into what's going on and to actually care about each other, to care about our natural resources, the beautiful ocean, the mountains, the air we breathe, the dogs that depend on us, they depend on us. So we're responsible for them, and they in return they will heal you, they will protect you, they will give you love beyond your wildest dreams. But, we have to do more. And I think, our country seems like it's such a dividing, it's like really divided. I mean, maybe it's getting a little better. I'm not sure. It's hard to read, but with everything that's going on, it's like, I don't understand. We have such a short time on this earth. The earth offers us so much. Why aren't people conscious enough to be kind to each other, to take care of the planet we live on? I think I preach it too much, and people are like, I don't want to hear it, dude. Like, or they just.
Well, you're not just preaching it though; you're doing it.
So now I don't even talk about it too much. I'm like, I'm just gonna lead by example. That's powerful.
No, I'm getting that from hearing everything, your story today. How much you are giving to Wings of Rescue or helping people out, and that is very admirable.
Yeah,
thank you for doing that. Thank you.
No, it's like I and also I have a 13-year-old daughter, and so much a lot of the stuff I do, it's like, whether it's the work around the house, landscaping, or taking care of the garden, or taking care of the dog, or building, or flying with the dogs, like she's eventually, it's gonna lost by osmosis. She's gonna be like, wow, my dad's out there, like he's doing this. That's awesome.
That is awesome. And what is it you hope for her future, for this earth, for this? Where do you think when she's your age, where do you think we're going to be?
I'm afraid for like the future of this planet. I mean, it's just what I see is just it's not good. Like amongst kids, they're very undisciplined, they're unmotivated. I try like explaining it to my daughter. I'm like, you're so. And she's an awesome kid.
Yes,
she's got
I've seen
so
her.
much. She's talented. She can do she's athletic. She does like horror makeup. She used to play the piano. She
Very
would draw.
creative.
Like super. And like slowly all those things are going away and she's getting consumed by the phone. And I'm like, you're watching someone else do something in the world. And like they're out there in the world having that experience, but you're watching it. That's fake dopamine or whatever they call it. And you could be out there doing that. If you put the phone down, like go surf with your friends at the beach, go do something outside. But instead you're watching it. Like you're losing out on the actual experience.
Gotta hide that phone.
Yeah. So now we have a new rule. Like she comes home, I'm like, you got to hand me the phone right away. and I'd kind of decide how long I take it for, depending on how your behavior is.
You are a toad.
It's working. Yeah.
My mum, she was very tough, my mother, and I always think sometimes when I think of going through Hollywood and rock and roll, everything I went through, if I hadn't have had that tough mum, I wouldn't have survived it. Tell me a little bit about Susan, your lovely wife.
She hates if I bring her up at all. So
she doesn't want to. Okay, should we not? Well, no, I just think she's fabulous.
No, she's amazing. She's she's recently started her own consulting company, and she was a high-level executive at Gucci for the longest time.
She must be good in an argument if she's good at going in a boardroom.
She's good in crisis. Like she could put out fires. Like for
Isn't
Gucci.
that wonderful?
Like, she's just a worker. She's a worker bee.
Yeah, see that. Yes,
a great, awesome mom. And
I met her in the pool too.
Yeah,
and I was so impressed by her wit, her spirit. And the one thing I learned from her was that she always goes and gets a $1 million smoothie at Sun Life. And I thought, there is a woman who works incredibly hard, but then she knows she deserves the best. Yeah. And I think she's also a great role model.
Yeah,
to have her on here.
Yeah,
chatting about, and we both share passion for fashion. I love fashion.
Yes.
Yeah. Does she ever dress you or tell you, hey, you should wear this?
Occasionally, she'll disapprove of. I have both my daughter and my wife, I have a tendency to wear a lot of camo. I don't know how, it's just my thing. And they're like, you cannot buy one more piece of camo, sweatshirt, pants, anything. Like, here, it's ridiculous.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what wonderful dreams do you have for the next chapter, David?
Basically, I'm like, I gotta stay healthy. I gotta live long enough to see where my daughter ends up in life. Like, but no, mostly like, I mean, for myself, I'm enjoying acting probably more than ever. I've done like 7 or 8 films, and I think I'm gonna go do another, like a film actually near my hometown. It's been like the best year of like my career. It's weird, and I think it's all because of the suffering I went through, and then all of a sudden like coming out of it and being open to the universe. And when you're open, or you tap into that frequency and you're willing to help other people and not think about yourself, things will come to you. You don't have to fight for them. You have to be open to it, open to the universe, and open to that frequency of like living on a higher plane and living your highest version of yourself. I mean, I feel like I'm constantly trying to evolve and grow stronger mentally, spiritually, physically. Every day I want to get better.
And we can't give anything that we haven't given ourselves. So finding that happiness within ourselves, then we can give it to others, I think.
Absolutely. You gotta be good inside your own skin.
Yes. That's really making me think really deeply. You're so inspiring to hear you talking, David. You've got so much wisdom and so much knowledge to share. I feel so grateful to hear you speak in such an intimate, honest, and powerful way. I mean, you've just shifted my life.
That's cool.
So I hope whoever watches this gets the same. You just got so much to offer, David. It's just such an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
From my heart to yours, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for
having me.
This is such a pleasure that you were in the Cabana.
I love it. The surfboard. Life is good.
Life is getting better and better, right?
Yeah, it is.
And if we keep sharing the love and we keep sharing the stories, maybe we'll inspire, just as you're saving one more dog at a time, maybe we'll inspire and save one more soul at a time.
Right.
Because it only, for me, always at those crucial moments, it's been a story or hearing somebody, another human speak about their experiences that have kind of got me going.
Yeah.
I think, what I've got out of this conversation is shifting your focus to service and kindness can really shift you out of, a very dark place. And
absolutely.
Get out there and make the world our oyster.
And charge it, baby.
Yeah, rock and roll, brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this was brilliant.
Amazing. I'll tell you, Knuckles.
Knuckles.